Hi, and welcome to the second devlog in my series. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to try and get back on track with making Chippy, and for that I tried to make a longer form video this time to see what you all think of it. In the last episode, I pretty much perfected that grappler that I was making, and it's currently Monday as I'm writing this part in the script. It's really late because I was making the final touches on my previous video and uploading it. I didn't get a lot of work done, but when I go to bed, I usually think about what I could include in Chippy. So yeah, most of the day or the night I should say, it was really just thinking really and planning. So on Tuesday, I made a start on a level select menu, which I've been meaning to implement for a very long time. The old one was literally just the main menu. It looked really scuffed. And so I wanted to try and make a dedicated main menu tab where you could select all the levels in a separate menu. I've just kind of thrown together a selection of buttons with what will probably be the names of the levels when I release the game for the first time. I don't know. Yeah, it looks bad, but it gets the job done for now, and I'll probably make a proper customization options, or just add in a proper background or whatever later on. I also implemented a speedline mechanic using shaders. I found a really good tutorial online on how to use randomly generated noise and make some cool anime speedlines effects, kind of like that. Yeah, I could only use the shaders, but I originally wanted to use like a particle effect in front of the player, because that, in my opinion, looks a lot more realistic and looks a lot more like it's proper wind in front of your face. So if anyone does know how to make speedlines with particle effects, please let me know down in the comments. I also finished organizing the level select menu and coded the buttons to work as well. And I also organized the file system of the game a lot more. So now it's way easier to work on and find what I need. On Thursday, I finally finished that science assessment I was working on for a very long time, so I'll hopefully have more time to work on Chippy in the near future. I made a start on the first arena level. If you look back on my previous videos, you'll see that I did a little bit of planning for how it would look, and I also made this new tile texture to make it look better and a lot more like a portal type facility. And yeah, it looks a lot like a Portal level or a Carlson level, because that's sort of part of the lore. You start off in the actual game inside this evil facility type place. This big company is trying to figure out what your warlock powers are so that they can create weapons of their own to fight the evil sock puppets. Yeah, that's all I want to reveal for now about the lore. Obviously, there's a lot of lore to Chippy, so yeah, most of it I'm just going to try and keep in the dark. So yeah, for now, just know that there is a reason behind why it looks like this. On Friday and Saturday, I did a lot of work on the arena level. I spent a lot of time messing around with the nav meshes on Friday, and I upgraded the version of Godot I was using and downloaded that version off of Steam, so it's easier to stay up to date with the latest versions when they come out. I also added some really cool lighting on Saturday. I spent a lot of time looking at YouTube tutorials on how lighting in Godot works, and I got a pretty good understanding of it. I also learned how to bake lights, which is probably my favourite part of making a scene now, because the scene can go from something where the lighting looks pretty mediocre and kind of unrealistic to properly realistic lighting with actual shadows. The lights have like really good bloom and all that good stuff. On Sunday and Monday, I spent time writing the scripts and putting together the video, so I wasn't spending a lot of time working on Chippy. Once again, this is more of a longer form video, so it will just naturally have more to it than my other videos, so yeah, I had to spend more time editing it together. On Tuesday, I made a decal of the company's logo. That company that I mentioned previously that was holding Chippy captive. The company is called Azoni, if you couldn't tell from the logo. I definitely didn't steal it from Amazon, by the way. I made the logo using Adobe Illustrator and then brought it into Godot. and I'm not really sure why, but the decal glitches out a little whenever I look at it from a certain angle. I'll show a clip of it on screen right now. If anyone knows how to fix this issue, then please write a comment. I also thought about how I should end the level. Currently it's just like a goal point which you melee and it takes you to the title screen. I'm thinking I'll probably have a door or a gateway of some kind, at least for the levels that take place in Azoni. And considering it's the plan to make the demo for Chippy the Warlock Cat take place in the Azoni facility, I'll probably make all the levels with the Azoni aesthetic, and I'll probably have to design some more level props and stuff that fits the vibe a little more. Maybe if you guys have any other ideas for general cosmetics or even mechanics that I could put in the game, please write them down in the comments down below. It's really cool to implement the community ideas into my game. On Wednesday, I fixed the decal issue, and I've decided that until I design a good looking exit, I made a quick door model across Wednesday and Thursday. It took me quite a while because Blender crashed part the way through and reset some of my progress, but it was probably for the best because I tried to make a vault looking door and it didn't really look that great, so I remade the door into a more conventional door and it looks much better. I ported the door into Godot and stuck it where I want it for now, and I'll code it later to take you to the Arena 2 level when I eventually make it. Friday was spent porting the door into Godot and some lighting correction on some of the props and the puppets. The bake mode on the props and the puppets was not set to the correct setting, which meant that the bake lighting in the arena level looked a little bit weird on the props. It wasn't super bad, but it did need to change at some point. I also installed a plugin that adds a trail particle effects node to Godot. If you didn't know, Godot doesn't have a node that handles particle trails by default. You know, like a sword, like a whooshing effect for a sword per se. It doesn't have that by default, so I had to download a plugin for it. I messed around with it a little bit, and I found it's pretty easy to make a nice looking trail. And I decided to stick it to the end of a sword and see how it looked. It's a little bit rough around the edges, but it's pretty nice for now. Saturday and Sunday was spent editing together the video, so I didn't have as much time to work on my game. That's just how it goes with the longer form videos, I guess. So sadly that is the end of the 2 weeks, but I feel like I made a lot of progress with Chippy over the past 2 weeks, especially in level design. I'm really happy with how the arena level turned out, and it's pretty much just what I was going for. But before I end the video, I want to announce something real quick, and that is that I'll be trying out Unity for a week to see how I go. I've been a Godot user for most of my game development journey, and I wanted to try to learn Unity just to branch out and also to see what it's like. I actually found a place that actually tutors people on how to use Unity. It's a 5-day online course where I'll learn to use Unity and hopefully at an intermediate level. So I'll probably make my new video on that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my videos. Leave a like if you liked my video and dislike if you didn't like it. And consider subscribing if you want to stay updated on my newest videos. Wish me luck on my Unity course, and with all that said, goodbye.